Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secure Team. We have a lot to get to today, from some very scary and severe weather, new anomalous things and UFOs being seen in our skies, as well as a bit of an update and a little more information as to what happened to my friend StreetCap1. By the way, I just want to thank all of you who came to that video and gave your condolences. It's amazing how many people knew and loved StreetCap's work. Even if you didn't and you just heard about him, head over to his channel. You know, he did some awesome videos, and his family his family is very appreciative for that video and for all of you guys coming out with your condolences. So amazing show out. Now, as I said, we have some new footage here, and a news report actually, of some severe weather that was in the form of baseball-sized hail that fell upon residents of Greensburg, Indiana. So check this out.
Hail that caused big problems this weekend in Greensburg. I want you to take a look at this damage caused to cars after hail the size of golf balls, even baseballs, fell on Saturday. Neighbors sent us this video last night of that hailstorm, and today people were out inspecting the damage, from smashed out windows to divots in lawns and roofs.
We took a picture of Jake, our grandson, holding one of the hail balls, whatever you call them, and he's holding it like that, and it's every bit the size of a baseball, every bit. And that's what was hitting our cars and our house and everything.
If you were outside yesterday during that, you would have been severely hurt, if not killed. I mean, you saw how large they were. It was boom, 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 and it was pretty scary.
Very scary. The hailstorm also broke some overhead skylights at the local Walmart there, where at least one person suffered minor injuries.
Now, I'm not a meteorologist, but I do know that it seems that the severity of storms and things such as hail and hurricanes increasing over the years, to the multiple reports that we've done of local wildlife disappearing in various areas of the country and around the world, to the strange magnetic anomalies that we've seen across the globe. I mean, it's indicative that something is changing, something is happening, at least in my opinion, from everything I've seen. Now, me personally, I have never been in a hailstorm, and I've been in many. I've never seen any as big as baseballs. I think the biggest that I felt was actually just earlier this year, where they were about the size of grapes or maybe cherries, something like that. Definitely not the size of golf balls, and especially not baseballs. So, you know, I'm not sure how normal baseball-sized hail is, and that's kind of the question I want to pass to you guys. Is this normal? Are you seeing more of this larger sized hail? Now, that's not to say there haven't been massive pieces of hail. You know, some of the earliest recorded pieces of hail going back to the 1800s, there was one instance where I think the biggest piece of hail ever found had a diameter of around 8 inches and a circumference of 18.6 inches and weighed almost 2 pounds. And that was actually just in 2010. So, you know, this is much more recent, but people have been hurt by hail going back to the 1800s. And there's another story that I know took place back in 1986, where there were over 100 people that literally almost perished after this massive storm occurred in, I believe it was Bangladesh, where people were being hit by grapefruit-sized hail, some of which weighed more than 2 pounds. So, you know, I mean, this stuff has been happening through the years, but it seems like it's happening more often in just the past 10 years. Now, again, I may be totally wrong, but from the reports I've seen, it would seem that weather all around is becoming more severe. So, what do you guys think? What's your take? Let me know down below, and I'll post a link to this video and the news story down below as well. You can check it out. Now, in other news, we have a couple of different stories of strange things seen in the skies. The biggest that I want to start out with was of some sort of object that was captured blasting through the skies above New Zealand that is, as of right now, unidentified. It's got people there totally mystified about what it could be. Specifically, this was above or seen above the area of North Canterbury and other areas of that portion of New Zealand, where people originally were startled from another one of these massive sonic booms. Afterwards, going out and getting both video and images of this massive smoke trail stretching for what appeared to be miles through the sky. People reported hearing a loud boom and seeing what some are saying is a suspected meteor or a piece of space junk. They heard what they described as a massive kind of rumble or a sonic boom. One family said that their family's dogs all burst into the room, prompting fears that it could have been an earthquake, but when the family looked out the window, they saw something in the sky heading towards Mount Gray. They said that the object looked like it was burning up and coming down, and described it as, quote, moving slowly, and said that it had an orange glow to it and a very long trail. And this has been causing some confusion and disagreement between people who are saying, well, it may have been a meteor, and those who said that whatever this was, it was definitely not a meteor, because usually when we've seen these videos of meteors coming into our atmosphere, we see just a bright flash, and then the object's gone. I mean, it flashes through very quickly. Meteors are moving at thousands of miles per hour, which apparently was not like this object here, whatever it was, which was moving much more slowly. But that still created this sort of sonic boom that shook houses. Some theorizing that the object went into the ocean. However, we had users like this here saying that something just doesn't add up. One user saying, quote, "It doesn't add up. They heard it and time to go outside to see. Usually you hear them after you see them due to the high speed of the object and the relatively slow speed of the sound." And just from looking at the images personally, this almost looks like more like a rocket plume than it does a meteorite. I mean, this looks like the smoke trail of something big. And as of right now, we really just don't have any answers. So the big question is, to any of my fans out in New Zealand, did you see it? What do you think it could be? And definitely stay tuned here, and I'll post updates as soon as we find out more. So now, in other news of strange things seen in the sky, we have yet another video of a type of UFO that we actually just spoke about in a video in July, I believe, where we were documenting something called a fast mover or a fast walker, depending on who you ask. But basically, the bottom line is, whatever these unidentified objects are, they move extremely fast and are very seldomly caught on cameras, both down here on Earth as well as in space, where they've been captured zipping by on cameras on the International Space Station. And so this new footage was captured by a drone posted to the YouTube channel MTO Aerial in Bodega Bay, California. And as you guys can see, I mean, you barely see it moving at the normal rate of speed, but you have to slow it down almost all the time to see these things. But there's actually two of whatever this was. And that's kind of strange, because typically when I've featured any other footage of these things, there's usually just one, but it appears these things are side by side. They look to be the same size, shape, although we really can't tell. All we can see is the trail coming off of them. If you blink, you'd miss it. But as usual, just like the other pieces of footage of these things, they are moving many, many times faster than your typical birds or bugs or anything like that. You can see these things are moving in a perfect straight line. You can see them from the horizon, these hills in the background, where they just shoot across the water. It's almost like they're not there, and they really aren't there. These things are typically seen high up in the sky, or at least higher up in the sky for humans to see, captured on drones at just the right time. And if it weren't for this footage, and for the eagle eyes out there capturing it, and actually detecting these things, we would never know they're there, and that's why they're so mysterious. Because we don't know what they are. We don't know if they're craft, we don't know if they're entities, we don't know if they're some sort of energy orbs, we just don't know. But the video evidence does show, as you're seeing in these other videos that I posted on, captured from all around the world, from Norway to Mexico, these things are up there, zipping by ever so quickly unbeknownst to those down on the ground. And it truly is a mystery. So really cool new piece of footage. 2 objects. That's a first. As far as videos of these things, typically it's 1, but it appears that these things can now be seen traveling in pairs, and that just makes it even more mysterious. So, really cool footage by MTO Aerial. I'll put the link to the video down below. You can show them some love. Now, lastly today, real quick before we go, a quick note about my friend StreetCap1, who recently passed away, of what his sister has now confirmed to me was a heart attack that happened suddenly and very quickly and painlessly. I wanted to touch briefly on the fact that I had been getting some comments from people saying, something's not right here. And you're always going to get that, especially when something happens to a member of this community. We talk and discuss on some very touchy subjects here. And we know what has happened to other people in the past who have passed on due to some, really suspicious circumstances. And I want to tell you guys that right now, there is no information that I've seen that would lead me to believe that this was anything other than natural. Now, I do want to say, and this was actually brought up to me by one of the researchers who works for me, who helps sort of gather stories for me behind the scenes, who noted to me, and I realized this as well, although I didn't realize it when I posted the original video, was that on StreetCap's channel, he had a couple of videos posted, one of which was where he was like outside walking to his car, where he had mentioned someone or feeling as if maybe he was being followed or threatened was the word I believe he said. That video is no longer on the channel. I don't know where it went. I don't know if he took it down. I don't know if it was taken down after. There was also another video where he was actually featured in a documentary that was put out in Russia, where they were doing, this show or a documentary about people online and UFOs and some of his findings, and he was actually featured in person on this show. A clip from that was also on his channel and is now gone. So that was kind of strange to me. Now again, he could have very well taken those down before all of this, but I just don't know. So, I'm going by what his sister, specifically who I spoke to, has said. We don't have any more details, but, let's just say I hope that everything is on the up and up. It was natural, and from what I've seen, I mean, up until now, I think it definitely was. Sometimes stuff just happens, and, our health gets the best of us. So, with that, I just want to say thanks again for everything. It's definitely been a rough couple of days, and I'm going to do my best to live up to all of the good that he did and continue the work he did with his analysis of lunar photos and other things of that nature. So with that, stay tuned, stay safe, and I'll see you all back in just a bit.